Wow, Llama 4 just dropped 2 of the 4 versions of the models. You can listen to Mark Zuckerberg. I'll put a link to this in the description below. Talk about the different models. The best place to go to use it is meta.ai, although it doesn't say which one it's using, the Scout or the Maverick, which if we go into, and I'll put a link to that below, and then you can go to their blog description, which has the benchmarks. Now, notably, they have 2.0 Flash and not Gemini 2.5. But it, pretty classic for all the different benchmarks that the companies post. Really interesting though, because the Scout version, their lightweight, fast version, has a 10 million context window, 10 million token context window. Maverick has a 1 million context window, which is really great. I think that's been one of the advantages that Google's had. And if you look at the cost, it's on par. It's actually less than Deepseek and on par with Google's models, which Google's have been really inexpensive. Even GPT-4o, and if they put GPT 4.5 on here, it's way, way higher. And then if you go to Chatbot Arena, it's already been on there, and it's second on Chatbot Arena, which is not bad. Gemini 2.5 Pro still has a big advantage, but for an open source model that you can go and you can tune to be better than Grok 3, to be better than GPT 4.5, to be better than DeepSeek, and GPT-4o is pretty fantastic. This is Maverick, so this isn't even their best model. In this announcement here, he mentioned that Llama 4 with reasoning is coming soon, and then his Llama 4 Behemoth, which is 2 trillion parameters, and he claims that this is the best model out there. Let me see if I can find where they mentioned that. Here we go. Llama 4 Behemoth, 288 billion active parameters with 16 experts for a total of 2 trillion parameters. And you see the difference. This is 17 times 16 for 109 billion parameters. This is their lightweight, super fast model. And then 17 times 128 for 400 billion parameters with a 1 million context window. They don't say what this one is, but he's claiming that it's the best model out there. Best foundation model out there. Now, not exactly an accurate measurement, but I asked it what's its maximum context window. It says 131,000 tokens, which is kind of strange, but this also doesn't necessarily mean it's accurate. So I haven't tested this thoroughly. I'd be curious what tests you would think to come up with on this one. I'll test this and see what we can come up with in another video. I don't think I'll be using this for coding because at least not the Maverick one. 43% rating, which seems good based upon this, but when you look at, if we go over to Gemini 2.5 Pro for Live Bench, they get 70%. And they're comparing it to some of the more, they have Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Well, I guess they don't have that on there. They have Grok 3, which is on par with, and it's slightly worse than Open. I think my experience has actually been better than O3 Mini. That's just been my experience, but it's a pretty big difference in benchmarks. So I don't think that this is a coding model. Now, when they release the reasoning and or the Behemoth, that might change things quite a bit. But I do think that I'm very curious what people are going to do with a 10x over the context window for Google, which was the maximum prior. Claude 3.7 Sonnet only has a 200K context window. This is a pretty big difference. Now, one thing that Google was really good at, it's not just about the size. Size isn't the only thing that matters, but how you use it matters a lot. Google wasn't just good for having a big context window, but just putting a bunch of stuff into a context window and having it follow its train of thought. Google was really good at. So I'd be curious to see if Scout actually follows the train of thought. Otherwise, the large context window is not really very effective. You can shove a bunch of stuff in there, but it loses track really easily. I'd like to see some tests on that, and so I'll come up with some tests to see if we can get some better use cases. See if it actually improves the use cases or if it just flops when we try to push it to the limit. Cool. Let me know what you think. Play with it at Meta AI and listen to Mark and see what he has to say. And hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.